It's a beautiful morning. It is June 27th. It's around 9:30 and it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm in zone 6B and I have a lot of things growing in the container garden. I just want to walk through here and show you guys how things are going. I will leave a link to my last video on this container garden if you'd like a few tips about things you can grow and that kind of thing. And this will just kind of give you a comparison of how things have grown in about 3 or 4 weeks. So my Cuban oregano is just growing. It's just lovely. And I use that to make a steak sandwich recipe. I'll include a link to that if you'd like to check it out. Everything's doing fine. The basil's really growing a lot. And I'm going to do a basil growing video for you at some point. However, I would like to encourage you, if you have a problem with your basil, maybe insect damage or something like that, that's what I had with this basil right here. And I just cut off all the damaged parts and now it's growing back very well. Okay, it didn't. The insect damage didn't bother this plant over here. I have the same varieties growing in both containers, but it bothered the. That's a Thai basil over there, Siam Queen Thai Basil, and so it ate it up in that container, but not over here. So, there's some basil for you, a little basil tip. This is a kaffir lime tree. It's doing really well. I've got a lot of new growth on there, and I'm growing that from seed. That's the 3rd year growth there. I can probably start to cut at it a little bit at the base. Maybe I can trim off that lower branch down there and start to try to give it some shape. This is a 2nd year growth for this one. Of course, I have some sweet Italian basil right there. I probably need to go ahead and sow some seeds for some more sweet Italian basil. However, I'm really loving using the Red Freddy this year. This is the purple variety that I'm just really liking. So I'm sowing a lot of seeds to that. It has a very similar flavor to the sweet Italian. It's just a different color. But I've been mixing them up. And my Italian parsley is trying to bolt on me. So you'll notice it there, just the leaves are getting very tiny, but I'm still able to use it right now. I have some more growing in one of my other gardens. The sage is doing very well. I'm real impressed with it. As hot as it's been, I didn't expect it to do so well, but it really is doing nice. Rosemary, and then the mint completely died over on me when I was going out of town. I've been going out of town, you know, for about 3 or 4 days at a time, and it was just hot and there was no rain for that time period, and I came back and it was completely just looked like it had died. But I gave it some water. It's perking back up, but you can see all the leaves have turned yellow. Those will not recover. What I really need to do at this point is just cut it all back and it will regrow beautifully. Okay, because that's all it really needs is just a good cutting, a good haircut. Down here's a new plant for me. This is African Blue Basil. Now that's the only basil really that you grow from a cutting. You don't grow all of your other basils from cutting. Yes, you can propagate your basils, but it is a lot easier to throw out seeds, folks, and it's a lot more flavorful and it doesn't bolt as quickly if you grow basil from seed. African Blue Basil is that exception. It's a perennial basil. And I grew this for the first time in Florida in my first garden, and it is a really pretty basil too. I mean, it'll attract all kinds of insects, so that's a nice thing to grow right there. You may have to special order it from a nursery. It's really hard to find, but I have a good nursery where I live, and they always order stuff for me if I want something. Okay, and then I have some Greek oreganos looking okay. Last year it was beautiful, but I have so much Greek oregano all through my different gardens that that's fine. I probably will just pull this out this year, as a matter of fact, and put it in the ground somewhere and use that container for something else. So here's some basil that I planted from seed. I think I had just tossed these seeds out in my last container garden tour. So that'll give you an idea of the comparison of the growth and how long it took for those seeds to pop up like that. Behind here are just some chives. I'm trying to give them a little bit of shade. And then here is some thyme. lime thyme. It's starting to grow pretty well for me there. And let's take a look here. Lemongrass. I've moved some lemongrass out to one of my other gardens. And so I want to keep this one here in this container garden. I had to put my French tarragon over here. I really needed to cut it and dry it. It's a very good herb dried. However, I just did not get around to it. So I might still do that. But I'm using it fresh a lot right now. And then this is the kaffir lime tree. It is just beautiful. I was kind of worried about it for a little while because when I moved it out of my house, because I do have to bring this in every winter, so when I moved it out of my house and put it out here on the deck, it just wasn't responding well. It was because it had a lot of scale insects on it. I have a problem with scale insects with my citrus trees, and so that was a problem. So I just got out here, I wiped them all down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and some water and a cotton ball, and I did the whole tree. And it just loved it. So I watered it good, and it just popped right back to life. And it is just doing really well. A lot of little blossoms on here. I just made some curry last night. I made some paste, actually. I made my paste, and then I made the curry today. So I'm going to harvest a few of these leaves for my curry, as well as some of the basil. And so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be our weekend family meal. And then down here I have the young galangal. And right here is cilantro. I'm growing it underneath the tree for some shade because it is really heating up now. In this June and July. It's getting hot early this year. And then here's some cilantro that has bolted right here. I can use that root for my next batch of curry paste, as well as this root too, because this one is bolting. You see how small? It really didn't mature at all. It is grown too close together. These should be grown about 12 inches apart, but I tend to plant all my cilantro about 6 inches apart. So I need to probably thin those too. But at any rate, I have some growing in a lot of the different gardens. So I use the roots for that, from that plant, not just the leaves. So it doesn't really concern me if it starts to bolt. Anyway, there's my garden down there. It looks like I've got a little bit of overcast coming around here. We're supposed to get some rain today, and y'all know what I like to do when it's overcast and about to rain. I like to plant seeds. So I'm going to run down there right now. I'm going to put some green bean seeds in the ground. I have some more cilantro I need to seed, and a couple of other things. So I hope you guys are playing in your dirt and having fun out there. Thanks so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.